Welcome back, my friends. My name is Eric. This is Rome. This is just a weekly, not meant to be a weekly update, but it's an update for this week. How about that? How about that? So, those some of you may know, I teach college. I'm a welding instructor. Primarily, I do some other stuff too, but mostly welding classes. And we had a new semester start a couple weeks ago, so I've been a little bit MIA the last week to 10 days as I kind of get my feet underneath me for the new semester. So I'm teaching two classes I've never taught before. One is a hard facing class, and one is a tool making class. It's more of a blacksmithing metallurgy class than a strictly welding class, but it falls under the umbrella of welding at our school. Um, and the first time you teach a class, there's just a lot more prep work that has to go in to each week uh, than for a class you've taught over and over and over again, right? Normally, I teach the basic welding classes in sheet metal, and I do have sheet metal this semester as well. And so those take a little bit less prep work. Although I did lose my sheet metal shop because we have a new teacher who's taken over department next to us, and the previous instructor uh, used a lot of sheet metal fabrication within his fabrication classes for that program. And he left, and the new guy doesn't want to do that, and so I showed up about a year ago, and all my sheet metal stuff was sitting out in the parking lot in the rain. I don't really have room for it in the standard welding shop. So while I've taught sheet metal in a number of times, the class is kind of in flux as I figure out what we can actually do with the space we have and the tools I can get in. You know what I'm saying? So everything's kind of taken some more work than usual, is what I'm saying. So videos have gone up more or less as scheduled. They've been late a couple days. I'm sorry for that. Um, and then, but they've been there. I think the bit I've fallen down the most on is just talking to you guys. Normally, I get up, I sit down, I'm at the computer, for an hour or two in the morning, answering comments, making sure videos go up on time, doing some editing, that sort of stuff. So I was able to get most of the videos for this week recorded last weekend and get them up that way. And so it's just a matter of getting on and scheduling to go live on time because they go to the members first to try to get the members some time. I can't schedule a video to go up at a certain time and still make it available for members before that time. Does that make sense? Um, Once I schedule it to go public, the members can no longer see it. It essentially unlists it until it makes it go live. So that means if I'm going to make them available for members to see, then I can't use the auto scheduling. I have to kind of manually go in, and two of my classes happen to be when my videos normally go live, as far as they happen right in the middle. So I got to get a better handle on that, and those videos for Tuesday and Thursday will have to be scheduled Monday and Wednesday night, respectively, before I go to bed, um, to give the members the maximum amount of time to watch them, but still make sure they go up live. So that's that. I did go through this morning. I think I got most of the comments done, but comments may not happen quite as quickly as they have in the past, so I apologize for that. It is what it is. As far as what we got going on, I've got 3 more videos recorded for MechWarrior, which will probably go up. I think I'm going to try to go to 7 MechWarrior videos. I think I'm going to try to go Monday for a full week because I'm not doing a second full series at the moment. Not really. Warhammer Inquisitor kind of petered out. Views dropped off, and there wasn't really much to do more in the season other than just grind. And I kind of lost my extra time to grind, grind. I was putting about 50 to 60 hours a week into it before the school semester started. But that time is over. I don't have that extra 50 to 60 hours at the moment. Um, so it was well timed. It wasn't an issue. Like I say, the interest was dropping off just as the grind was getting real to continue to advance within the seasonal kind of achievements. As far as Superfuse, I do like it. That is what I'm playing late at night when I get home and I have a little bit of time. I do have a couple more videos to show for it. Probably I want to showcase the other 2 classes and maybe do some co-op. I've got a friend who is looking at picking up the game, and we might be able to get some co-op going on. He's Albion. I think Albion is the game. Yeah, that's what he plays a lot. And I played it during early access beta and tried it a little bit after the game went live, but they changed the focus to be a lot more PvP oriented than what the game was initially pitched as and what it initially was in beta. And so I haven't played a lot, but there may be an Albion game here and there, depending on what happens with that. because I do like some co-op. So that's happening. I hope the camera's doing okay. I noticed I've got a bright stripe across me, which I'm sure the camera is struggling to deal with. Um, but I don't think it matters for this video. I've had a few hardware issues, some of which are self-inflicted, some of which are AMD inflicted over the last week as well. So struggling to get that stuff done. I have an AMD Radeon 6700 XT graphics card, which is very fast. For the money, especially now, not for the money I paid because I bought it during COVID. Um, I've had it for quite a while. It's always had green screen issues, which is an AMD graphics card crash. I did a lot. I tried to fix them. I couldn't find a fix for them. They were actually crashing while I was recording on a pretty regular basis, so I was losing videos completely. If you record as an MP4 file, that MP4 file has to wrap up at the end of the recording. So if your computer crashes, you lose that entire file. If you record as an MKV file, it doesn't have to wrap up. You keep it, but then you have to re-encode that MKV file as an MP4 file before I can edit it in Adobe. It'd be nice if they'd add MKV as a format they accept. They don't, so it just adds more steps to my chain. And so I've been trying to record MP4 lately. AMD was making that difficult though. I did attempt to go in and undervolt the card, which I'm sure saved me a little bit of money, and didn't really hurt my performance because the card can boost higher as far as it's clocked that way because you're undervolt. Anyway, it balances out is what I'm trying to say. So it's a pretty effective way to actually increase FPS with an AMD graphics card. But I still continue to get the green screens. So then I decided I would undervolt and overclock, and I got pretty significant increases in performance. I added a good probably, well, let's see, hold on. I don't know where I put it. Somewhere in here I've got a note here. Oh, here we go. I went from a benchmark score of 11,861 for the graphics card to 12,451. So we eked out a little bit of performance out of it. I think actually my first starting number was a little bit lower than that. I think the first one I wrote down was there. But, I got a bit under 10% boost out of that. It was great. It was fun. I had a good time doing it. But instead of getting green screens, I got black screens at about the same frequency that I got the green screens. So it kept crashing, just this time crashing because I wasn't quite stable. But realistically, it didn't fix anything and it didn't hurt anything. It just kept crashing about the same rate. So I've gone back to my NVIDIA's 3060. I haven't recorded any videos with it yet, but I have put it in and I've overclocked that as well. I've done a little bit better with my overclock on that. I've got about 12% increased performance, but it's still significantly lower than what I got out of the AMD. So the AMD overclock got 12,451 as far as my benchmark went, and that was 3D Mark times by, and that's the graphics score, not the overall score. The new car, well, it is newer. It's newer to me. The NVIDIA 3060 overclocked. I'm up to a 9805. So I got an 11% boost on my overclock out of that, about 11.5%. Got the achievement for it in 3D Mark. But it's still about 20% lower than what I was getting out of the AMD. But that's fine. The AMD 6700 XT is supposed to compete with the 3060 Ti, not the 3060, and the 3060 Ti has about a 15 to 20% increase boost over the stock. So all of those numbers bear out. The NVIDIA will hopefully be more stable. It has been in the past as I've used it. I went back and forth because I was trying to get Darktide to work, and Darktide was really struggling with NVIDIA drivers early. But NVIDIA drivers are much better for video encoding as well. So hopefully that solves the green screen problem because mostly it was happening while recording, although not exclusively. But it will also make my my rendering and encoding for the video editing side of things a little bit faster as well. So it is what it is. The other thing I've done, which is self-inflicted, so to speak, is I have gone with an audio interface, Revelator. See if I can pick it up here and get it on the camera without unplugging everything. No, not quite. I've gone with a Revelator IO 44. It's a PreSonus audio interface. It's meant more for musicians than streamers, but it builds in a lot of, you can do some funky mixes if you want. It can create some virtual mixes, just like the, oh, I just spaced it. I had one for a while too. I can't think of it. It's a big box that's got sliders. Anyway, it lets you do virtual mixes where you can mix things together, play with the levels, add effects, that sort of stuff. It also lets you do compressors and levels and EQs and all that sort of stuff on the actual audio interface. And in this case, on the Revelator, on the PreSonus, it's actually processed on the interface as well. Whereas most of the others out there have to be processed with the software on your computer, which means you're losing CPU or GPU cycles to your audio effects, which generally means I've recorded without any of that stuff going on, and then I've added it in post. I've done my EQs, I've done my compressors, I've done all that leveling in post for videos, which is great. It's fine. It gives you a lot of manual control over how you do things after the fact. But it's really only good if you're going to do pre-recorded videos, not streaming, right? Because streaming you have to have you have to have working out of the box, which means that in the past when I've streamed, I have had to essentially take away some of those CPU cycles to help deal with that sort of stuff and try to get my mixes done. And I did them kind of a case by case basis and kind of leveled on screen as people are like, well, the game's a little loud, the game's a little soft, your voice is a little loud, whatever, you know. And I hate doing that. So this allows me to kind of dial that stuff in. So I've been spending the last couple days trying to get that figured out. In the process of that and going back to the NVIDIA graphics card, I tried to use the NVIDIA AI noise suppression in OBS. I added it, and then it just continued to crash OBS over and over again. And if you tried to go into your audio filters to remove it, it instantly crashed OBS. So I actually had to uninstall OBS and all of my preferences and reinstall and rebuild everything. And then not use the NVIDIA AI noise cancellation, just the regular RX suppression in that. So, yeah, that was fun. So we're up and running. We're on the NVIDIA RTX, 1060 with the Revelator IO44 audio interface. I'm still running a Sony Alpha 6100 camera for anybody who may care. And I'm running a Rode NT5 shotgun mic. It's an XLR mic is the mic I'm running right now into the Revelator. And I like that because it doesn't have to sit in my face. I hate it when streamers have a giant, phallic shape in their mouth on the camera because there's no reason. When was the last time you saw a movie actor have to have a camera in his face to deliver his line? It's BS. It's just it's just streamers and YouTubers wanting you to know how much money they spent on their setup to have a giant expensive phallus with RGB and all the rest in camera, in screen all the time. There's no reason for it. Just use the appropriate mic for the job. You know what I'm saying? So I'm running this. I've got a little Rode one for the camera as well that I can plug directly into the camera that works okay, but the sound's a little bit tinny, I would say, in comparison. It sounds pretty good, honestly. And if that was your podcast mic, if you were a somebody who did YouTube or TikTok or whatever it may be, this camera with that mic would be perfectly fine. For gaming, there's no reason. I don't need a small mic attached to the camera. I can do something else. I do somewhere. Maybe. Hold on. I assume you guys can see me. I've got this mic down here as well. This one's actually attached. I have mounted to the front of my my guitar amp so that I can play through the amp and then use the mic to feed that sound into the computer for recording, or more accurately for Rocksmith, rather than plugging the guitar directly into the computer, because my computer speakers aren't good enough for me to even hear my bass through them because the bass response on these speakers is garbage. So I can play through the amp, hear my bass, and then use this plugged into the XLR audio interface and do it. And this is a Shure. This is a PGA 48. So it's a dynamic microphone. It's a great little microphone. This one does need to be a little bit closer. Although I can get it probably out of screen pretty easily and still use it if I wanted to. I do like this one as well for those of you that are interested in kind of the hardware and stuff. I like XLR, but it does require you to have a lot more crap on your desk. So um, USB mics sometimes are much easier than that. And PreSonus actually has a Revelator USB microphone that will do all of the fancy computer stuff in the microphone to get you your virtual mixes and your EQs and stuff as well, if you would rather go that route. I happen to like the mics I have, so I was just looking for an audio interface, but that's that. I think that's that. It's kind of a state of the union at the beginning of the semester, I guess. As far as that goes, so kind of let you know where I stand. Videos will continue. Mech Warrior will continue. We'll probably do a modded save after we finish the vanilla save, because I do get a lot of comments telling me that the mods are updated, and that's awesome. And we will definitely try that, but I would like to do the game as intended. A vanilla playthrough first. Not everybody likes mods, but people would like to see the game as it is, and then you can kind of build from there. What else? I don't think there's any other huge games coming up in the near future. Hold on, let me we will I don't think I have just a flat display added into this. Give me just a second. Let's add a display. Hold on, let me move this out of the way so we don't get that infinite worm tunnel of camera going into camera, right? So let's go. This one is the Samsung monitor, so I remember which one it is. They recently updated OBS so that you can actually, your display capture will always capture the same display. It kind of messed with it, but it means that you kind of have to build it correctly initially now, which is fine. And as you can see, I think I got it right. So I say, okay, let's go wish list. Let's see what we got on the wish list. I don't know if I'm going to play Jagged Alliance 2 at all. I was thinking of maybe diving into that because Jagged Alliance 3 is coming soon. And I don't know that I think I played the first Jagged Alliance, but if you guys are interested in kind of going back to revisit that one, let me know. It's on the list. Screeps is here just because I want to learn some programming, and I just haven't got around to it. Although I did start taking a Python class online in the last week too. One more thing I've done to kind of make sure I have no time. But I have worked on that. Tailspire is more to do tabletop stuff with. Cosmontier, it's in early access. We did a little bit on it. Nobody seemed to have any interest in it, but it's something I'm interested in. Jagged Alliance 3, obviously we just mentioned that. Falling Frontier coming soon. Manor Lords coming soon. Goblin Stone coming soon. Starfield coming soon. Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon coming soon. So those are all the things that are kind of on my wish list. I don't think I have anything on the Epic wish list that I'm thinking of for the channel at the moment, but let's pull it up real quick. We'll get a quick idea eventually, maybe sort of kind of. Both of these take a while to fire up the first time, and I don't have either of them come up at launch because it takes too long. As you can see, we will dive into this. Wish list. This one actually has the button here. I don't have anything on my Epic wish list at the moment. What's in the library? If you're interested, I've got Path of the Finder, Path of the Righteous, Pathfinder. I got Cyberpunk, got Mech Warrior 5. I did go back and play a little. I don't remember what it's called now off the top of my head. There's another first-person shooter, Warhammer 40K, where you're in the Undercity going around and doing stuff. And I went back to play it thinking that maybe it would interest people that were kind of interested in Darktide but didn't want to play an always online multiplayer game. But after Darktide, the controls felt so terrible. It is faster. It's kind of faster paced. Like the controls feel a little bit faster, but the game feels a little bit. Anyway, I decided not to. I played it. I put another 5 or 6 hours into it, and decided that after Darktide, it just didn't feel good. So we didn't do that. But I do have Metro 2033 Redux on here. Redo. And I haven't even fired it up yet. I put it on here to attempt to kind of scratch some of that itch. And I just haven't given it a try yet. Again, that's something's loaded at the moment. If you're interested, let me know. We can do some of that. Obviously, got some Pathfinder and Cyberpunk updates coming. Maybe I'll get those done here after we leave the screen there. And then we can turn that back off. So I think that's my beginning of the year / beginning of the semester kind of State of the Union. Channel's doing great. we've got 70 subscribers in the last 28 days. So we've when we hit monetization, we were at about 1.5 a day. When we started last year, we were at about 1 a day. So we've doubled where we were this time last year. And we're seeing consistent growth of the channel as it goes forward, which is great. Views are up, watch time is up. Estimated revenue is about the same. Not getting huge. We haven't gone up that much that we're really seeing a change in that. But we're not seeing a drop off after the Christmas season either. I know a lot of big YouTubers complain that they do see a significant drop in ad revenue after Christmas because the ad dollars aren't there after Christmas, right? They build up for the holiday season and then they drop off pretty significantly afterwards. So some of that's because we had been playing 2 series at the same time. Warhammer viewers are great. So thank you if you're here for Warhammer. We will get some more of that in here. I'm just waiting to get some more news on Rogue Trader, most likely. We might throw a Dark Tide video here or there. I do have a couple characters up to max level in-game at the moment. Just getting time to play co-op now to do kind of in-game content is a little bit harder for me because the people I do play with are the guy I play with the most is a student, and school started up for him as well, and he's got some evening classes. So that makes it a little bit. I've got morning classes. He's got evening classes this semester, so that makes it a little bit more difficult. But we'll see what we can get going on. Otherwise, I mean, here I guess I can show you guys this too. There's nothing secret about what's going on the subscriber channel. So you can see 70 subscribers up to 1219. Views, watch time. You can see this is the most recent video that's gone up. Yeah, we got, I say, 3 more videos that need to be edited and uploaded. I'll try to get those today for the subscribers. One of them may go live today, but it might wait till tomorrow, and then we'll do Sunday through whatever. And we'll just see how many videos I get done. But I'm going to try to do more than 5 a week if I'm not doing anything else. So I'm just kind of rambling now. How things going for you guys? Yeah. Any questions, comments, games you'd like to see? Let me know. Mods are coming from MechWarrior. I know. I hear you guys loud and clear. But after the series. But anything else, or even that, you can continue to say that. That's fine too. Comments are comments. Engagement's engagement. Thumbs up, thumbs down, all that sort of good stuff. As always, if you're still here, remember we do have a membership program. You can click the join button down below. It starts at 99 cents a month. You get your names in games. You get a little bit more control over how the saves go because your input's a little bit more important. It's a lot more. Well, everybody's input is important, but I'm more likely to go with a suggestion for a member than I am for a non-member. I guess is the answer to that. So that's there. And about half of my income is based on members rather than ad revenue. If you're wondering what the breakdown of that is, it's about half and half at the moment out of that $65. So yeah, hope you guys are having a good spring. Hope your weather's not too bad. The rain in California here seems to have stopped for the moment, although I guess New England maybe just got hit with some big cold weather today. So yeah, stay safe, and we'll see you guys next time.